Hey everyone, I am here with Shaun Clark, one of the founders of Go High Level. And I was actually talking to Shaun before. Everyone that I've talked to that uses Go High Level has nothing but great things to say. So I reached out to him, connected with him. He was nice enough to have me talk about Outsource School, talk about virtual assistants to his community. And I really wanted to get him and Go High Level in front of my community. So Shaun, thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So why don't you tell people a little bit of your background, your story?
Sure. Software engineer by trade and always just been entrepreneurial. So dropped out of college in my junior year to start my first business and ran that for 12 years and then started my first SaaS business about 5 years ago now. That got acquired about 3 years ago, and now I'm running High Level. So.
How did you get into coding or be just software in general? I always said that if I could be an entrepreneur and learn how to code, I'd be a billionaire by now. It's a great skill set to have together. How did you teach yourself to do it?
Clearly, I'm doing something wrong. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll have to thank my mom. I mean, she put an Apple IIe in front of me when I was a kid, and I just fell in love with it. And it certainly took me a long time. I mean, I played with video games like a lot of kids, but for some reason over time, I was just more excited to build software and see what the power of software could do. And it just sort of became a hobby. It was challenging, and I don't think I'm particularly amazing at it by any means, but I've always just had a passion for it. And so I just kind of followed my passion through life, and lucky for me, it ended up something that's useful, I guess.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the company that you started that was acquired? I mean, I went through an acquisition at the end of last year, and I know that was an interesting experience for me. How long did you run that company? What was that company, and what was it like to get acquired?
Yeah, sure. So it was effectively like an add-on, essentially, to to QuickBooks or Xero or any kind of accounting software. It did automated accounts receivable, which is just a fancy way of saying it would email and text message people to remind them that they owed money to a business, and made it easy for them to pay that invoice and then take those payment records and then update the invoice in the accounting system. So if anybody has somebody out there who's calling out to say, hey, where's my money on this invoice, we basically put that into software. So grew that off my kitchen table to about 1,000 customers. I was the only employee, so it was just a single founder business. And I ran it for, I want to say 5 years. The acquisition was kind of funny. It wasn't something I was looking at doing, and I got a cold call from someone, and I'd gotten many calls from many people promising many things. This guy was kind of funny because he said, look, I can get your business sold for you. And I said, oh, that's ridiculous. And he said, well, but he was great. He fired back. He said, well, what's the big risk? He said, just name a price. You get to name it. It doesn't matter to me what it is. It's my job to go and get it for you. And if I do, then you got to pay me a commission. If I don't, you don't owe me anything. And I thought, well, gosh, that doesn't sound too crazy to me. So I named a number that I thought was pretty nutty. 2 weeks later, he came back with 3 offers. So clearly I didn't go high enough, but that's on me. It was a really difficult process, though, I would say, after that. I mean, the deal almost fell through 20 sometimes for 20 different reasons. And even after the acquisition, I had to stay on for a year as a consultant and those sorts of things. So it wasn't just this sort of cut and dry, here's a check, here's my business kind of stuff. It was very tenuous at best. And so I would say for anybody who's looking to do any kind of deal, I think it's harder than it looks. But it's so that's definitely how my acquisition went anyways.
Yeah, we went through a lot of the same stuff. I wouldn't say our deal almost fell through, but in the back of our mind, we always thought that it just could fall through, which that alone was just very stressful, not to mention sure. Everything else. So you sell this company, you do the 1 year consulting, you're sitting around, you're trying to figure out what to do next. Walk us through what you were thinking and how Go High Level came into play.
Totally. Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of already knew that I wanted, so what I didn't like about my past business was that it was very horizontal. So I could do one thing for lots of people, which was cool, but I couldn't ever go any deeper than that. And I had all these really great customers and they would ask me to do more. And I thought it was I would say that's the most frustrating part of my business. And so I thought, okay, so I talked to these people and I would say, well, what do you want, out of your business? What are you missing? What are your pain points? And they all said the same thing. I want more customers. And so I thought, okay, here's what we're going to do. When we come out with this product, we're gonna we're going to choose I'm going to choose a vertical, and then I'm going to be able to do everything for this one group of people, and it's going to be awesome. And so, trying to figure out what that was actually was kind of a journey. I mean, we did a whole product around HVAC and plumbing and home services, and it was like a dispatching system and jobs and all this other stuff. And we actually brought that whole thing to market, and then we're like, well, I don't know, how are we going to get 1,000 plumbers on this thing? And then so we had to rethink it. And then we finally came out with actually more of a horizontal product that was reviews and reputation management. And that actually started to work. We got about 10 customers on it, but then they started to all cancel. And we couldn't. And if we found out this whole problem of small business owners not having enough time to really do the thing that it is that they want to do, and so really, quite honestly, out of sheer luck, we had a marketing agency get a hold of us who had one of these customers as a co-customer. We showed them the platform. They really loved it. They bought it for all of their accounts, and they introduced us to lots of other agencies who all of a sudden we realized they were the people who knew how to use the technology on behalf of the business owner, which was just something that I'd never understood before. And so really for us, that's what kind of tore us off in the direction we're at today.
That's so interesting, because I feel like a lot of businesses, you think you know who your customer is, and then one day you wake up and you're like, all right, the product's still good, but it's actually someone else who's going to be using the product, even though it eventually goes to the end customer anyway, who gets the results. So I always find that fascinating. So why don't you tell people what is Go High Level? Give me a summary.
Absolutely. So high level is really the agency operating system is what we say. So if you're a marketing agency or you're a marketer, it's really the core of where you would do all of your marketing and sales. So, and we sell it today on a white label basis because our mission and our goal is to enable marketers and marketing agencies and freelancers to really go out into the world and serve their clients, because we know that the small business owner, again, they don't have the time to put this technology in play, but if they do put this technology in play, it's a game changer for their business. So everything the agency needs to run their business, all of, if you're out there and you're using, 6 different tools and you're gluing them all together with Zapier, we're kind of the platform that takes all those tools and brings them into one spot, and it's all of our own code. It's seamlessly integrated. So we basically replace everything from ClickFunnels to ActiveCampaign to Calendly and on and on. So it's really just this one-stop shop for marketing agencies.
Very cool. So talk to me about what it takes to run a software platform for right now. I know I've met a few people on your team, and you're in year 2 right now. What did that look like actually growing and scaling and hiring people? And what does your team look like now?
Yeah, sure. So I think we're about 70 people now. So it's a pretty big team. And it has been a wild ride. We're definitely on rocket ship growth. I would say year 1 was more about like being super scrappy, working with some really advanced customers, just trying to basically munch through a feature set as fast as humanly possible. And then moving into year 2, it's more like, wait, we've adopted this platform. It's got lots of features. We really want to make sure everything though is super stable, super perfect, way more polished. Like, we'd rather all those things be true than yet another feature. And so that was a really big change for us. And then, before it was just like, oh, we're a bunch of engineers. And now it's like, well, yeah, that's cool and all, but we also need customer success and customer service, and we need somebody to go out and teach us how to use certain things, and we need webinars and a lot of the human capital components that I think, at least as an engineer myself, I just didn't really understand or have a healthy respect for. So it's really been about putting the right people in the right roles to create really this magnified outcome.
70 people is a lot. Are they US? Are they non-US? I'm assuming they're working remote right now
everywhere.
because of
So
COVID.
we've always been remote. I've always been remote. I've been remote for 12 years. So before COVID was around, I was just this weirdo dude who worked at his house, and now I'm like everybody else, which is a very unique thing. But yeah, so everywhere on every continent, we probably have somebody, but everybody is effectively our own direct hire. So some of them may have technically contractor relationships, but we hire direct, we source direct on our side today. So everybody's sort of kind of part of the company.
Cool. One quick thing, and then we'll jump back to high level. What are some hiring tips? You've obviously hired a lot of people. You're hiring people from all over the world. You're hiring remote. What can you share with our community that you've learned just from hiring all these people?
First and foremost, don't put me in charge of hiring myself. That was the biggest thing. I'm not very good at it. And also, I would say, we started maybe like, I don't know, if you just take a specific use case, like let's say software development, which is something that's really critical and core to what we do. We started off with like, oh, I don't know, let's go to Upwork and let's, hire, let's go read the reviews and hire people direct there. And, I think today we probably have 2 engineers remaining from that experience, and the vast majority were terrible hires. And I think the biggest thing I noticed in myself, and I pass this advice along today to people I talk to, ask me the same question, is like, the reviews are great, but treat it like a real hire. Like, ask for references, call those references. Like, I often find that people will say things to you on a reference check that they won't say to you in a review, right? Or they just didn't leave a review because they didn't want to burn that person's reputation. But on a phone call, they'll say, well, we didn't really ultimately enjoy the experience. So I guess the thing I would say is take it more seriously, spend a lot more time on it. It's not an Amazon purchase. You can't, just review your way and add someone to a shopping cart. If you're really looking for a long-term relationship, like, invest the time to create a great hire.
Makes a ton of sense. So let's talk about marketing agencies. You're using your software. What are some of the common mistakes marketing agencies make?
I think they spend way too much time getting caught up in the tech. So, our platform today is massive, to say the least, and there's not much it doesn't do. And so a lot of people will come in and assume that their first mission is to understand everything and know how to set everything up, and really take a lot of time to focus around that topic area. And certainly that's an important thing to do eventually, but I would say that's not the first thing to do. The first thing to do is go out and sell and focus on sales. And, I always say, look, if you come to my door tomorrow and you say, help, I have no idea how to set this thing up, but I've got 10 customers who are ready to use it and buy it, we can solve that problem for you. But if you say, oh, shoot, I've been trying I've spent 3 months setting this thing up and I have no customers, I need your help, there's not much I can do for you. So, most marketing agencies, I think, fail to focus as much as they should on being sales organizations versus, customer service or technical organizations.
How have you been able to compete with a lot of the big players out there? Because you're kind of a situation where you do a lot of the stuff that the active campaigns, the MailChimps, but not even beyond that, all these different tools that are even solo. Some of them do multiple things, but you're kind of competing with all of them in your own way, but you're also kind of different because you're doing white labeling for agencies. Is that how you've been able to stand out?
Yeah, so I think the difference is we treat marketing agencies and marketers as first-class customers. Versus I think all of these other systems ultimately see them as second-class citizens. And what I mean by that is, let's take Active Campaign. They went out and raised a $100 million round recently, and they didn't do that because they were going to help marketing agencies and focus on marketing agencies. They did that because they're going to go direct to consumer. And all these other larger players, I don't care if it's HubSpot or Active Campaign or SharpSpring, fundamentally they see a marketing agency as what they would term a sales channel. And what that basically means is they want to come in, they want you to hawk their product to your customers, and then whether you stick around or not, they've now made the sale, they have the customer relationship, and you come, you go, they don't care. And so they've just basically used you to grab their customers. We're different. We don't sell direct to the end business, and as a result, you are our customer. So if you lose a customer, we lose a customer. If your business goes under, our business goes under. So we have this really great alignment in our value proposition and around our business model, so that we want to drive your success at all points. And the white labeling is just a component of that. That really is just designed to really speak to that idea of not exposing ourselves to your customer, because we never want them to come direct. In fact, we don't take them even if they try. So to us, it's really just about the fact that we believe in marketing agencies as that's key to the small business's success. And we know that the best way to do that is for us to be in the background, to be your engineering department, to be your platform, to really power your success on the technology front, while you're out there in the world really delivering the end result to the client.
I love it. What new features? What are you guys working on now?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I'm very excited. So we have a bunch of cool stuff. Like we have a brand new drag and drop email builder that's sort of MailChimp, HubSpot level. We have a drag and drop workflow builder that's HubSpot sort of level, Active Campaign level. But we have the coolest thing we have by a long shot though, is we're coming out with what we call SaaS mode or SaaS enablement. So we've learned this from our customers, actually. It's really cool. So the marketing agency of the future, today, if you're a marketing agency, you're selling just almost exclusively pure services, right? It doesn't matter whether you do SEO or websites or lead generation, it's service. But the problem is a lot of small business owners have a hard time either paying the price tag for the service or seeing the value in the service. And so there's just this churn issue consistently in the marketing world. But what we realized is that with high level being white label, you can actually sell it as a software product because it has so many of the features that these small businesses are already buying out in the market from other providers. So we have all these customers who are literally going in, selling the service, but also selling the SaaS, right? Selling the software platform on a recurring monthly basis. And when they lose the service component, they're keeping the software. So all of a sudden, we looked at our customer base and we're like, oh my gosh, like I know a guy who's doing $320,000 a month in SaaS revenue only. I mean, do the math, that's a $4 million business in just software sales on top of the platform. And so what we realize is this is really the future of marketing agencies. And so we're going all in. So if you ultimately, as a marketing agency, want to add additional revenue, scale your business, create more stickiness, the answer isn't add yet another service that client's going to get tired of. It's become a software company and power the whole thing off of high level where you can, you have this great technology partner, but you're out there being the actual front of the house and being able to collect all that revenue from the software side and be very sticky and very profitable.
I love it. What did I miss? Anything that I left out?
I don't think so. I mean, we have a ton of plans. Obviously we want to continue to grow this, but it's just about reaching every marketing agency, every marketing freelancer, every marketer out there who's serving the SMB category, the small business or medium business. We think we're the right answer for those people. And, we'd like to meet more of them.
Awesome. How can people get a hold of you guys? How can people check out what you have going on?
Go highlevel.com is the best way to do that. We have 6,000 agencies now. We have 8,000 people in our private Facebook group where you have to be a customer to get in. We have some of the best marketers on the planet in that group. And I think it's an awesome place for people to come and check us out. So yeah, definitely come to the website and we'd love to see you.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.